take two, and action. Did you like that?
Yeah, I did.
No, I'm not going to make fun of how Dolan lost this episode.
I didn't lose it.
I saw him. He didn't lose it.
That's
I was
true.
recording the whole time, and then I stopped recording, and it gave me an error message.
Error. Sounds like user error, but I don't know. Okay,
But
it's not.
We're here. We're redoing it.
All right, so here we go. Take two.
Inspired by the adventures of our nurses, therapists, and techs, A Beer with Atlas is the only healthcare traveling, craft beer drinking podcast. Each week, we'll open a few beers, talk about the brewery and the style of beer, and then dive into some research curated specifically for each episode. In the end, we hope each one sounds like a conversation you'd have with your friends while enjoying a few cold ones.
Welcome to another episode of A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian.
I'm Dolan.
Some weird hesitations.
I was, combing through the memory box to see if I could think of anything great, and I couldn't, so here we are.
You guys should be thanking me. We get to drink this beer twice.
Hey, you know?
Here's the thing. I already drank it like 4 times. So,
After you found it, I found it too. I bought a 6-pack
oh,
of
there
it.
you go.
The beer in question is called Farmageddon Spiced Pumpkin Ale from Thunderhead Brewing, native to Nebraska.
That's right.
5 locations: Kearney, Axtell, West Omaha, downtown Omaha, and then the original location, which is now called Pizza and Beer Carryout in Kearney. Oh, yeah.
Oh. Guess
Yeah.
what? Still full, guys.
Yeah, it all over
Still
the table.
full.
There's still the remnants from last time.
Yeah,
on
the
there.
can is filled all the way up.
Thanks, Thunderhead, for that extra
Hey, what?
half a sip. I like it,
Yeah.
man. More for your money.
Here's what I've never been to the Thunderhead location here in Omaha, the West Omaha location.
Yeah.
But Dolan has.
No, I've been to the downtown one.
Oh, the downtown
I've been
one.
to the West one
Oh, okay.
Oh.
and the downtown.
And
Yeah,
both.
both. Oh, there you go.
Boom.
See, but
That's
that's why
just me.
you're my beer Yoda, though. I mean, that's
Yeah, I try.
Yeah.
I just think about all the damage I could do if I didn't have 2 kids. I mean,
Absolutely.
This would be insane. We'd be on like episode 1,000. We'd be doing it every day. I'd be forcing you. It'd be sweet.
Be coming in at 9:30 in the morning. I got more beers. Let's record.
Yep.
Yep.
So before I knew where Thunderhead came from and everything else, I like to go to this Red Robin out by my house.
Okay.
I don't know why. It just there's the server there, the guy that works the bar. His name is Chubbs. Chubbs is
Is he skinny?
no,
Oh, he's not.
no. But
What?
he's a juggalo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
I
he's
like this.
he's a nice guy. He's a
Most
good dude.
juggalos are.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
juggalos are.
He's a good dude.
I'll tell you why you like Red Robin.
why.
Endless fries.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. It
Endless
don't hurt.
fries. Yeah.
Big beers.
The
Yeah.
Royal Red Robin with the egg on top. Oh, that's my favorite.
The boozy milkshakes. Is
Oh.
that there? Yeah.
Jenny gets like the spiked lemonades.
Oh, yeah.
She
Those
likes
are good.
those. Yeah. Anyway, they have a big. They took a bunch of different tin tackers and they made like a map of the United States and they cut out pieces for each state. So whatever brewery is largest in each state or whatever first and I was always kind of mad that Nebraska was Thunderhead. And I was like, man, there's so many other breweries here in Nebraska. What I didn't realize is they were founded in 1999. So they have been around for a very long time.
Them and Empyrean pretty much
Yeah.
neck and neck, I think.
They earned that spot on that.
Well,
on
they
that
were one of the
map.
first ones I know about that had more than one location.
Yep.
It was just great to have one, And now it's like, now we're to the part of the beer journey where there's multiple locations and tap rooms and different cities, and
Yep.
now we're getting saturated.
I wouldn't say that. I think we're getting properly equipped.
Well, I like that too. Some of them have faded off and crashed and burned, and most of that's probably because the beer wasn't as amazing as it could be.
Some of them should have crashed and burned. Somehow they still exist. I don't understand that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
that's how that goes, I guess.
Yeah. So Kearney was the home of Thunderhead Brewing from 1999 until 2008. And they outgrew their space and they moved to Axtell, Nebraska. Where is Axtell? That's got to be
South of
close,
Kearney.
right?
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah,
I think
South
it's
Kearney.
in my mind. I've never been there, but in my mind, it's just a big metal Quonset building with a bunch of beer stuff in it. I don't know. Maybe
Sounds
it's,
fine to me.
Maybe it's something different, but I got a feeling maybe you could see a green elevator
Oh, probably.
From the, I'm just guessing. I'm just spitballing here.
Can you
I'm
see,
thinking Thunderhead is like the only thing in Axtell.
It
Probably.
might be.
Can you see the co-op?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, because that's where I grew up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in small town Nebraska or small town Kansas, and that you could always see the co-op.
Maybe you can see the bank.
Probably.
Yeah.
There's the bank.
And if you can't just walk to the end of the street and then look down.
Does the bank is it on the corner?
Yeah, of
and
course.
does it have the sign with like the clock on it?
Yeah.
And the clock and temperature, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that was
Well, how else do you know what time it is?
yeah,
Yeah.
Or the temperature.
small town.
Yeah,
Small
that's
town.
exactly right.
Some of those days, you'll never get that time back. It's
The small town that I grew up closest to from the farm was just down the road. It was called Pickerel, Nebraska.
pickerel.
And when you roll into town, you're kind of going west. And the first thing you can see is the co-op and the green elevator right by the train tracks. And then the building right next to that is the bar.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was on the bottom of the hill, right? And then a little bit up the hill on the other side was the meat locker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're like, you need some dried beef, you need your
Oh.
whatever done.
Well, when you
Snap.
go hunting, you gotta have it processed
You gotta do
somewhere.
that.
I
right?
am in drinking mode. I thought you said the mead locker.
The
Oh.
mead locker.
That too,
yeah.
maybe they
Here
might
we
have had
go.
some. I don't know. I just remember when I was a kid and I walk in there and it smelled like blood.
yeah.
Like, oh, that's the meat locker. But then maybe it was like the fancier overall types. They were at the bar at the top of the hill, so there was 2 bars,
2 bars.
and in the middle was the bank.
Yeah.
So it was like in a post office.
Yeah.
And that was the town,
That's
pretty
town.
much.
Yeah, man.
But my grandpa went to the bottom of the hill bar.
Okay.
And that was where he was at. I never went to the top of the hill bar with him. And I don't know why, but that's just how I picture it.
Loyalty.
Axtell, same thing, I'm guessing.
Yeah, probably.
It's like that's the bar. You know the guy that's been there. When I went in there once, maybe like I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, and it was one of those places. I think maybe it was on this one. I don't remember. Somewhere I read recently, they're like, if you see us in the building, we'll serve you a beer.
Oh.
That was like their hours. And that's what the hours with this place were like. Like if the door was propped open, you could walk in
You
and
could go in.
he might be working or whatever, or stocking stuff. He's like, hey, do you need something? So we went in there and we had a Budweiser. That's what my grandpa would drink there, Budweiser beer.
Yeah.
And he was like, I remember your grandpa. So I got to talk to him about my grandpa, a version of him I'd never known or seen because I was a kid,
Yeah.
eating M&Ms at the bar, and he was playing pitch and
Yeah.
drinking beers with his buddies.
Man.
But he remembered him and all that stuff, and it had been like 30 years since he'd been in there. And
Jeez.
small town stuff. Probably
Right.
the same feel.
My grandpa used to do that with me all the time. We'd go to the bar. There was 2 bars actually in Columbus where I grew up. And there was one down the street, walking distance from the house. I mean, we never walked. But No. But and then there was one downtown, and either one I'd go into. Grandpa would play cards, buy me a egg cheeseburger. It was always egg cheeseburger.
Egg cheeseburger.
Egg cheeseburger. Yeah, cheeseburger with an egg on it.
Wow, that's fancy.
Yeah.
Like the Royal Red Robin.
Yeah, both bars served it. They were both amazing. And then he would buy me a soda, and then I would play arcade games
Yeah.
while he played cards, or
Donkey
I'd
Kong.
sit there and do nothing and eat peanuts maybe. And
Did you have to go with him?
I didn't have to, but
Was it like a he's babysitting you today sort of situation?
yeah.
I think
Or he
so.
wanted to take you?
I mean, I could have just stayed at my grandma's house, like,
Yeah.
I could have been home alone as a
Yeah.
kindergartner, like, but
That was- You were cresting the hill of when that was not acceptable.
Yeah.
Right.
See,
Yeah.
Rich and I were like, yeah, we'll take care of
We'd be fine.
4-year-olds as a kindergartner. We don't care, whatever. As long as the TV turned on.
Right.
Latchkey.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
What's
that's
the
the
big deal?
thing. We took care of ourselves. We were fine.
You know what else is fine? This beer.
This beer
I love
is-
it.
Okay, so we've had some pumpkin beers before. Our share. Pumpkin beers get maligned a little bit,
Yeah.
or whatever. This thing is this is right there on that. Okay, just enough pumpkin, but then nice beer flavor afterwards.
Yeah.
Right. It
Yeah.
just hits you with the pumpkin first, and then it kind of goes away.
Yeah, it
And
does.
It's just nice.
I think what I like about it is it's not like a artificial pumpkin flavor, and it's not like a pumpkin pie, right? It tastes like when you're carving a pumpkin, like how it smells when you carve a pumpkin. That's
Yeah.
what it tastes like.
It tastes like beer, too.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It's not like a sweet cider or something weird
The
like
spice
that.
isn't too strong, just right there at the finish.
Yeah.
I like the spice, too, though. I'm a spice fan.
You like that in the
So if there's a lot in there, I'm okay with that. Some people that's not for them, but for me, I'll take it.
I wrote this down. This goes back to our small town conversation. That's where the brewery got its name from, about the thunderstorms that would roll across the plains.
Yeah.
So the Thunderheads would roll in, storms brew, rain pours. Same with beer. That's where they got their name from. I mean, that's every small town, right? I mean, you look out which way's west, you look out which way's north.
Yeah.
Okay, here come the Thunderheads.
Yep.
And
Here's a question.
Yep.
Is there anything better than being on vacation and a thunderstorm rolls in and you got to find a spot to wait it out? And it's probably maybe a brewery or
Oh yeah.
someplace like
Sorry,
that.
we got to stay here.
We're going to have to sit here and watch the rain and drink these beers. That sounds perfect to me.
We actually got snowed in one time at a brewery in Colorado.
Oh, that's cool.
Like out of nowhere, all of a sudden, it just started dumping snow.
Yeah.
And Jenny was like, "Well, we're here for a while." I'm like, "Hell yeah, we are."
You're like, can you drive us out of here? Because that's how it's going to be.
Yep, you're driving. The pizza and beer location, the original location, I wrote this down because I thought this was awesome, is open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Yep.
Pizza and beer.
Get your lunch, get your dinner.
Yep.
Yum.
And have beers along the way.
That works too.
Yep.
Beers. Let's talk about some of the beers.
Okay.
That was my hat. We have Headlight Lager.
Headlight, single.
Single, just
Headlight.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It
Is
happens.
it like the head of a beer and light?
Headlight.
Or is it like head light?
It's more like the one on a car, but I like where your head is at. Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
right.
Shaben's Pilsner. We know about this guy's last name, right?
That was his last name. Yeah, but it is his last name. He's not dead, obviously.
Yeah, he's still cranking out. Well, he likes the Pilsner, so that was him.
Yeah.
Prairie Peach Wheat. I think
Yeah.
Owen liked that
Yep.
one. And then the Golden Frau. That's one I'm a fan of. You ever had the Golden Frau?
No.
It's like a pale
I
wheat
have.
beer. So it's more.
Do they can it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think
I've
I have.
seen
I've
it in
had
cans.
yeah.
Yeah, it's almost hoppy-ish. It's like you ever like a while ago, maybe like 8 years ago, there was a hoppy wheat craze a little bit, like a little blurp. It was like, oh, some people are making these. It was kind of like that style of beer.
Okay.
This place, from what I can tell, they're not doing a whole lot of innovative changes on the recipes.
Sure.
They've had their classics and they sell real well and they can them and that's what they make, right? Yeah. They have one. There's an IPA, I think it's called Crop Duster. You ever seen that one? That one's pretty good. And also, if you're out in that part of the state, that's one thing you see a lot, especially in the summertime, is those planes flying by. That's crazy what they can do.
Oh my gosh, those are
How
fun
low
to
they
watch.
go under the
Yeah.
power lines and then, dump that stuff. And it's wild to see that.
Yeah.
And then they had the jalapeno ale, which I think I don't know, I've had it. I don't know if you guys have had it. But
Actually used that as a chicken marinade one time, and it was awesome.
Ooh.
Yep.
yum. And then the Cornstalker dark wheat dunkel.
Yeah.
Dark. It's real dark.
Now that jalapeno ale, don't they mix it with the peach sometimes?
I mean, you sure could.
Why
Yeah,
not?
I'm pretty sure I've had the jalapeno peach or whatever. It was when Atlas did the brewery tour downtown during some conference or something. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember this. Yeah, a few years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right.
Yeah, we had a bunch of travel nurses out, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Well, I think you're not going to miss these on the shelf. The labels on these are awesome. Their can art is fantastic, and you can see it. It's all through their tap room too. Like that's with this one has a pretty spooky looking scarecrow with a pumpkin and a sickle.
Yeah.
Sickle? Is this a scythe?
Yeah, sure.
Wheat cutter. You're like cutting wheat out in the field. Isn't that what you do with it?
That is what you do.
Yep.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
Although I think now it's just a Halloween prop, but back in the day, that was your farm implement of choice for
I think they have
harvesting.
probably like a drag along thing for your tractor that does it all for
Takes
you.
care of that for
I
you.
think so, yeah.
Yeah.
A thresher or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what it's called.
We're here at work drinking beer. We don't know what farm implements are.
No. We may
I
have
can
grown up
see it.
around it. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never ran one.
No.
No way. I wouldn't want to do it today. Let's talk about the pizza. We talked just a little bit about it, but it's pretty good. It's a pretty popular spot. It's one of those places where there's probably a person that goes there like every day. You know what I mean?
Oh,
'Cause
absolutely.
It's like the local hangout area. So Here's some of the ones I wrote down. We can talk about them, but just the ingredients were cool. So pizza is the Angry Greek, which had sun-dried tomatoes. Not a fan. Generally, are you?
Not really.
I'm gonna guess. Dalton's got a stare at me. I'm gonna think he is a fan though.
I'm gonna guess yes.
Sure.
No, that wasn't a very
I don't believe
convincing.
it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so he loves them. It's his
I don't
favorite.
know why he's being coy about it, but okay.
Their consistency's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like them on a pizza.
I'll be honest. I missed what you're talking about.
Sun-dried tomatoes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love sun-dried tomatoes.
Were you making sure it was recording?
Yeah,
or? Okay,
sure.
good.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about peaches on pizza, and I'm like, well, I don't know where you guys get that.
This is episode 1 of our recording schedule today.
Just
so
wait.
We are in trouble.
But you know what? Grilled peaches on a pizza probably wouldn't be that bad.
That would not be bad.
I like pineapple on pizza.
I do
I bet
too.
it'd be pretty
too.
similar to that.
Yeah.
It's got spinach, feta cheese,
Oh yeah,
garlic,
up my
and
alley.
mozz.
Yep.
Fresh with the olives, which I know you're not a fan of.
I'd try. I don't like the olives, but I would try it. I'd pick around the olives.
My wife calls them crickets
Yeah.
on a pizza, and she hates them.
She's right.
I like to eat those olives. She picks
I
them
love
off, I'll eat
olives.
them. Me
Yeah.
too.
Even in like a bean dip with
No.
with olives and cheese.
It makes
and
everything taste
salsa.
like olive then. It's just,
But olives don't really have a taste. I don't. I mean,
Yeah, they do, but I don't
little.
think they're overpowering.
oh my goodness.
it's like a less earthy mushroom.
We could argue about this for
I guess.
hours.
Hula. It's the pineapple ham, pepperoni jalapeno pizza with that mozzarella heaped on top.
Pepperoni.
So Hawaiian with pepperoni.
Yes. So we're gonna have that. That
Okay.
sounds good.
Yeah.
I still think we should just one of these days just road trip
Yep.
and do an episode and we eat the pizza and drink
Yeah.
the beer
I think that's
Yeah.
a good idea.
and
Review it on spot.
maybe
Yeah. I like that.
and just show up.
I mean, Thunderhead's not too far away from here.
No.
Not really.
We could literally just go down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could. And then Thunder Pie. Jalapenos.
Yep.
Chicken.
Yum, yum.
Bacon.
Yeah.
That's a great combo right
It's a
there.
great
Yeah.
combo.
And then you had the pepper jack cheese.
Ooh.
Now, last night I was doing the grocery order for my house. And my wife is gone. Currently, she's in D.C., so I'm in charge until she gets back.
Okay.
And so I had to do the groceries.
I like the
'cause we
caveat
have
there
any.
until she gets
Yeah.
back. But, yes.
They had Hatch chili cheese
Oh.
at Hy-Vee. They
Yeah.
had shredded and they had sliced for like a sandwich. And I was like, add to cart, add to cart. This
Yep.
is not something I can always have.
No.
So I
No.
feel like that on a pizza would be pretty amazing. But pepper jack would be pretty good too.
On a sandwich, though, if you had that slice it and with any,
That's why I went both, man. Like I have some ideas.
Smart.
She might not like them, but that's
okay.
what we're eating. Sorry,
That's how it goes.
don't go to DC then.
Yep.
Whatever. So that's what I got for us on pizza and beer.
Did you look up the Thunder Punch at all? I thought this was intriguing that they make their own sody pop.
I mean, I've heard about it. I've never had it. I've seen it in the cans. I wish it was something like Kool-Aid. Wasn't that in Grand Island? Was that they created it?
Kool-Aid in Grand Island, yeah. I believe that's right.
Was it Grand Island?
The birthplace.
Wow.
of
It was either
Kool-Aid.
Grand Island or Kearney. It was one of those two. But I think it's Grand Island. I'm
I mean,
pretty
I think-
sure.
yeah,
Or
I think so.
Hastings?
No,
Who knows? They're all the same.
it's one of on I-80
really
heading
are.
west. It's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's our apologies to the actual town.
Maybe we can drop it in here with a, oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hastings.
But yeah, so the Thunder Punch has alcohol in it. It's a
Yep.
pop. It's a soda with alcohol added.
Like an actual carbonated pop.
Yes.
Soda pop.
Yeah.
They can it now, but it's so much better at the bar. I bought some cans one time for a party bus, and it just wasn't the same.
What's the ABV?
I have no
Can you
idea.
tell when you're drinking it, it's got booze in it?
Oh yeah, you
Oh.
can taste the booze, especially in the canned ones. The bar, not so much. I mean, you could tell it's alcohol-y, but it's not overpowering.
Let's consult the Untapped here as you continue. And
Yeah,
I
'cause
will,
I'm
I'll let
interested.
you know what the. What
It just
the-
seems
yeah.
weird.
The grape one is my favorite. It's super good.
Is it
I
like
think that's the
Purple
original
Passion?
one. Yeah, it's like super purple.
Oh, Purple Passion. Those were always good nights.
I mean, that's 99, right? That's when they started it up. That was in the
Yeah.
heyday of that sort of
Yep.
scenario.
Yeah, I mean, I remember my first one at 2 years old.
I had a couple and I felt like I was 2 years old.
5.6.
Oh, that's hardly anything.
No.
That's like a Coors.
It's
It's good though. On a hot day.
On a hot day.
Yeah.
What if you could put it in ice cubes in it?
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
It's really like a soda pop.
Yeah, yeah.
Do they serve it with ice cubes?
I don't know.
I think they do. I don't remember.
We're gonna have to research.
Look,
this
it
a
was
little
my
more.
rehearsal dinner, and all my family and friends were there. We got a little crunk.
Oh,
Oh, good work.
Yeah.
That's good work.
you only have that hopefully once in your life. So
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
job,
Yeah.
Yeah.
drunk.
Yeah.
What kind of food did you have? at the dinner?
We brought in our own food.
Nice.
Some
Nope.
friends of ours made like it's not a lasagna, but it's a lasagna pasta. They call it a loose lasagna, or
I'm intrigued.
what did they call
Yeah.
it? A deconstructed lasagna. That's what it was.
Slopped on there.
Yeah, well, it was basically instead of lasagna noodles, it was the big round ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
rotinis, but bigger.
Yeah,
Oh.
they were like
Mazzacholis?
this big,
Oh.
and then like maybe that
Oh,
round.
I know. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like the big ones, and then
Yeah.
yeah, they called it a deconstructed lasagna.
Huh.
So that's what we had, and then we had salad, and I don't know. I think there was a pie, but I don't really eat
Who
pie.
cares?
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thunder Punch was on the docket.
Thunder Punch, yep, and then
That
lots
happens.
of beer.
How do you, deconstructed lasagna to me is like when you're scooping the lasagna out of the pan and then it slides off
Yep.
and then you just kind of just slop it all
And
on
you
your
spent
plate.
all the damn time prepping it, making
Yeah.
it just
Making the
right. You
layers
cut it
and-
so perfect, and then
That's
it
why you got to
goes-
let it rest. You have to let it rest for a while.
It's like a steak, huh?
yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Well, no, for like a long time. Like you cook the lasagna,
3 days.
you let it rest in the fridge for like 3 days.
Oh my god!
3
And then it's
days.
cold.
No, I'm kidding.
Moving on.
I'm kidding. But lasagna the next day is actually really good.
I agree.
Yeah.
I do like it the next day too.
Yep.
Moving on. Let's talk about scarecrows, y'all. Let's do it. Did
'Cause
you
it's on
used
the
to-
can, right?
It is
I
on
mean,
the
it's-
can.
yeah.
And it's fall-ish
Yeah.
festival time right now.
Pretty
right?
scary looking scarecrow too.
This one's scary. Too scary. I'm going to talk about nice, less scary ones.
Oh.
Did you know that they're also called Hey Man?
Hey, man.
Yeah. Nice shot. Like filter.
I can see that.
But they are called Hey Men
hey, man.
in some places.
Hey Man.
Which I don't like that.
Fairly
I like
obvious.
scarecrows
but-
better.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm not sure why they're called scarecrows, because back in the day, they weren't chasing crows away. It was quail. That was
Quail.
the first one. Yep.
So they should be scarequail.
Scarequail just doesn't roll off the tongue.
Nah.
Not really.
Scarequails. Actually,
Scarecrow. I mean, I
it
don't know.
does actually.
What would be the worst bird name, do you think?
Oh man.
Scare chicken.
Scare chicken? Yeah. That one is real clunky.
Yeah.
And chickens are kind of scaredy cats anyway.
They'll run away anyway. Yeah. So you don't necessarily need to scare them.
Scare sparrow. That's not great either.
I guess it depends on the chicken because I've had chickens chase me.
I think roosters are aggressive.
Roosters are aggressive.
They
Especially
are.
when they have those knives tacked to their foot. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
That's not good.
Nope.
Scary chicken.
Mm.
Looks a lot like this scythe thing here. Yeah, back in the day, ancient Egypt, they built these wooden frames, and they had nets in them, and the birds would come to eat in the fields, and the people would jump out and say boogie boogie boo, and the birds would fly into the nets.
Wait a minute. They're actually people. And they were
Yeah.
hiding with
Yeah.
these nets.
Yep, they were in there and scared them into the net. Yes,
Oh.
and that was what they were doing. And then the Greeks picked it up and they did a thing. They made it. They were the first ones to carve like some scary thing. So they kind of said, you know what? That's cute, Egypt. We're gonna raise the stakes on this.
Okay.
We're gonna scare you. And they carved it
I was going to say carved it like
out of wood.
Like out of wood. Oh.
Say a big chunk of cypress tree.
Sure.
Well, I'm going with that because that's Greek.
It's Greek.
There you go.
Sure.
Or an olive, maybe even olive tree, but I doubt it.
nah, they probably let those go.
Maybe it's softwood. I don't know. I don't know I'm not up on my woods.
I'm not
as
no,
much as I
no,
should be.
no.
That's a different podcast, probably. But
Yep.
yeah, Priapus. We're gonna go with that. The son of Dionysus and Aphrodite.
Okay.
He was the son of two beautiful gods, and in theory, he should look like Thor coming out.
Well,
Should
if
have
you- yeah. Well,
long
yeah.
hair and gorgeous.
Yep.
But in
thank
fact,
you.
he was an ugly troll. And
Oh.
and he was scary looking, and no one wanted to see his face, and that's why they carved it, and that scared all the birds.
Whoa, they were carving this into their scarecrows? This dude's face?
Yep, that was the scarecrow. It was just this guy's bust.
That poor bastard.
Not this bust, but the facial,
Actual...
like a carved statue
yeah.
of his face.
Wow.
And they would just sit it there at the field. Wow. Like on the fence pole or
And it
whatever.
must have worked.
Yeah, because otherwise maybe they don't have enough food to feed their armies and we don't hear about them.
Could you imagine that being your job? Like, you're 12 years old and they're like, all right, kiddo, we're
Yep.
going to teach you how to carve this dude's face.
See this fugly face right here?
Yeah.
Carve that shit into that
Until
wood.
you're dead.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
single day until you're dead. Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's your job.
I guess that's only 10 years. Thank you. Because that's how old they lived.
Yeah.
Not very
Yeah.
long back then.
Yeah.
Romans. They saw this and they said, that's cool. We're taking it with us, along with some of your villagers and whatnot.
Sure.
And they moved it all across Europe, which is how it got to
And
Germany
pizza.
and pizza.
Yep.
That's true. Japan, they had them there, same time. They were used to protect rice fields and rice paddies. These were shaped like people, like humans, like what we would expect them to be, not a frame with a net or a scary troll-looking dude, just a person out there with a big old hat on. You know, the
Like that big hat right there
Kinda
on
like
the
this.
Farmageddon guy. Yeah.
more of the traditional Asian style brim.
yep.
More like a triangle, less
Yep.
flat bill.
Yep.
I'm a fan of the flat bill.
I like the flat bill.
This one's a little too flat for me. I can't pull this off. However, a lot of girls at the pumpkin patch do pull this hat off quite
Yeah,
frequently.
yeah.
Or at least try to. I have seen it this year.
Oh, yeah.
Germany, they were the ones that said, you know what, these are fun. It works. Let's scare people more and maybe scare the birds to death. We'll dress them up like witches and, we'll put them in town too. That's fun.
Oh.
We'll decorate some places with them.
Yeah.
We'll keep them in the fields and see how that goes. Medieval England and Britain and those places, not to be outdone, they just said, we're not carving anything. We'll just use children. And they just had kids out in the field and they just ran them around all day. Yep. See a bird. You're like, if you hit a bird with a stone, because that's how English people, they call it,
Yeah.
not a rock, but a stone.
A stone, yeah.
You'll get 1 half quid.
Shekel.
Sure.
Right.
And then they
Yes.
would, pay them per bird attack.
I'm sure.
I feel like all the stones being tossed might be more harmful to the field than,
Probably.
yeah.
Look, it wasn't exact science here.
Nah.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
you're carving shit out of wood to scare birds away. Not an exact science.
Unless one of their kids was like Peyton Manning or something pretty accurate. That forehead was, that would scare a bird too.
Yeah.
Then they came over to the United States. As far as the shape of the scarecrow, came with the German folks into the Midwest, and
Okay.
we've had them ever since. However, in the United States, on the East Coast, the Native Americans had something very similar to what, it's kind of like a mixture of all the other cultures. They had a hut in the field, and somebody would stay in there, like a lighthouse almost.
Okay.
And then when the birds would come in, they'd run out there and
Scare 'em
scare them off. And
So an actual person
Yes.
would stay out there.
so kind of was a mixture of a lot of different things. Now, how that they just came up with that on their own, I'm guessing. They weren't traveling to Japan to see what was up, but that's how that went. And then as time went by and fields went from a few acres to hundreds to thousands of acres, scarecrows they found themselves out of a job. Times were tough.
Yeah.
And they said, you know what? The only thing we can do really is be decorations now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we're at.
And every basic white girl buys one from Target every single year.
Target,
right?
or if you want to go authentic, you go to the craft fair.
yeah.
Maybe it's at your local high school, like by my house, the Papillion. What was that? The Titans? Who are they?
You're thinking of
The Monarchs?
No, it's off of 370, whatever high school that
Yeah.
is. They have a huge craft fair every year.
Yeah, I can't remember that. It's the Titans.
Yeah.
Papillion La Vista.
Maybe. Sure.
maybe.
But they have one, and it's like wall to wall. When you walk in there, it's like you're at a football game. Like you
man.
can't even look at anything. And it's like most of the vendors, they used to be cash only. Now they've all got the square, the white square.
Yep.
And you've got, grandmas that are crocheting, doilies and
Yeah.
tea towels. And then you've got some guy making jerky. And then there's somebody that's just making scarecrows and snowmen.
Yep.
I think we have a couple of those at my house. Come to think of it, Sam just put one up by our TV. I wonder if that's a message.
Watching you.
Or she's trying to scare me away from the TV.
It didn't work.
There's none in the kitchen by the dishes, so I should probably do those.
You probably should. She's scaring you away from the TV to make you
the
do
dishes.
Yeah,
that's smart. That's real smart. I like her. But the dishes are still there, right?
Didn't work. Much like maybe these scarecrows didn't work.
Yeah.
Or may have worked.
It's hard to tell.
Moderately effective.
It's like birds aren't telling their tales. We don't know. We don't know.
When I saw this can art, I thought of a different kind of scarecrow.
All right.
I thought of the Batman scarecrow, the scarecrow villain in Batman comics.
Yeah, as you should, I think.
Right? I mean, look at him. He kind of has that same look to him, sort of. So
there is something scary about a burlap bag with a couple of
over your head,
haphazard eye holes cut out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So let me tell you about the villain, the Scarecrow from Batman.
Okay.
His name is Dr. Jonathan Crane. He's a Gotham City supervillain, major enemy of Batman. So it's been around forever. I mean, if you think of Batman villains, it's Joker, Penguin, Scarecrow, Riddler, right?
Do you think that's from comics, or is that from, because as a kid, like, I never read a comic book. So my introduction to Batman was the 60s TV show Batman.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was a Scarecrow
There was not a Scarecrow on there, no.
But he had been created by then,
He
right?
had 1940. First appearance created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane, so the creators of Batman.
Bill and Bob.
1941, World's Finest Comics #3. His scarecrow costume, lanky appearance, and surname were inspired by Ichabod Crane of The Legends of Sleepy Hollow. So, 1941 was when he was introduced. Your mainstream introduction to him was probably the Superpowers cartoon. He was part of the Legion of Supervillains, or the Legion of Doom.
What time frame are we talking?
That would have been mid 80s.
80s? Okay.
Mid 80s, yeah, cartoon for that.
So right before the first Tim Burton Batman. Probably.
Right before, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right in there. So the Scarecrow is an overly obsessed, deranged ex-professor of psychology who uses a variety of drugs and psychological tactics to use the fears and phobias of his adversaries. He does not commit his crimes for wealth, much like other supervillains. He doesn't want to get rich. He just wants to use his victims as test subjects. Oh, which is even scarier, maybe, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's scarier, and here's why. My wife, one of her main jobs is a researcher, right? So she's doing all these medical studies. She's got one going on in Africa right now. She's done one in China. She's always doing research with, whatever. I don't remember the Scarecrow walking around with a notebook being like, I scared the shit out of these people today, and here's how.
It's more like haphazard, like, okay, I'm going to create this gas.
Let's see what happens. And then he's like, oh, I forgot
People go
forgot
crazy.
the results. I'll try it again.
Yeah, that worked. There you go. Oh, it didn't really work as well. We'll have to crank up the craziness and the gas or whatever. I don't know, for next time. Yeah. He only appeared twice in the 1940s and then disappeared from the page until the 1960s. So the 1940s would be the golden age of comics. And so then he was gone until the silver age in the 1960s. He appeared in multiple comics in the 60s. In particular, he was a frequent member of the Injustice Gang at the time. So gang
that's a loaded word now.
Much more 60s version of the Injustice League or the Legion of Doom or that type of thing.
Two things. Yesterday I saw a license plate on a little red sports car that said 49ers Gang.
49ers Gang.
And I was like, I'm surprised they could put gang on their license plate.
Yeah.
Second thing, do you think that the wars had anything to do with this character? But I would think like World War I, because of all the toxic gases that were being used, right?
Absolutely.
And then like napalm and stuff in Vietnam in the 60s. But I don't know why he... Maybe he was the guys that created him were around in World War I and had come to age. You know what I mean? I
think chemical warfare had always had been around since World War I and was part of as you went through World War II and then Korea and then the Vietnam War. Like it was always a part of that. There was always that. Yeah. This specter of chemical warfare.
And I think that's scary because the effects aren't known
No.
right away. Like
Right.
you know,
Yep.
like people, you get sick
Years later.
30 years
maybe.
later,
Yep.
you got something. That's more sinister.
Yeah.
That's the long game.
Uh,
That's
in-
what I want in my Batman villain. Instant
Playing the long
gratification, that's
game.
fine too,
Yeah.
but I like the long game.
By the
I think just evil in the name of research versus evil in the name of wealth is
good.
It's more evil.
It's way more evil.
yeah, I like it.
Yeah. 1986 was there was a comic book series called Crisis on Infinite Earths. So for years and years, comics had kind of gone their own way, and they needed them to bring them all together. They had storylines that were crossing that shouldn't be crossing and that type of thing. So DC brought all of the characters together for one series called Crisis on Infinite Earths, where the Flash from that time ended up running super fast. He ran so fast that he died, but stopped the Earth's rotation so they could go back in time and fix all of the weird stuff that didn't make sense in comic books.
Did he? So
Did
he
they make
sacrificed himself.
He sacrificed himself, yes.
Didn't they make a cartoon of this?
They did a cartoon of it.
Yeah, I
It most
think I've seen
recently appeared a couple of years ago. The CW crossed over all of their Green
Arrow?
Green Arrow
Yeah.
and Flash, and they crossed all those over, and they did a Crisis style story at the same time. But that was when we got more. They kind of reset some of the characters, and Jonathan Crane was one that they reset, and we got more kind of information on his background. So he was born out of wedlock in the 1940s. So born out of wedlock, not good. He suffered from terrible abuse from his fanatically religious great-grandmother. His father takes off before he's even born, and his mother doesn't show any affection or love towards him at all. He develops a taste for fear and an affinity for crows when his grandmother locks him in a dilapidated church full of birds. So she was a peach. Yeah.
Yeah, that goes either one of two ways. You're real scared of him,
Yeah.
like kind of like Batman was,
Like with bats, yeah.
or you just dig them.
Well,
I guess that's how that went.
he got used to him. So, yeah, he definitely got used to
Crows.
him. So because of this, he murdered his grandma.
Yep.
Probably. I mean,
Saw that coming.
Yeah, exactly. Then he also learned that his mother gave birth to a baby girl, causing him to feel great jealousy and grief, and that's the reason why he kind of is the way he is. So,
Does he go after her?
I don't believe I ever read anything about. I know he found out about her, but who she is, what she did, I don't know. I'm sure somewhere in comic lore she shows up again, but I don't know. One of my favorites, one of my favorite stories they ever did was. Are you familiar with Green Lantern? So with the green ring, the yellow ring, green is good, yellow is bad. The green ring, if the green ring possesses you do good. You're the protector of that sector.
Okay.
If the yellow ring possesses you, then you were inherently a bad person anyway. The ring would seek you out, and if the yellow ring sought you out, then you were going to do bad things, and that was your life of doing bad things.
Got it.
So, Green Lantern Volume 3, number 27, Yellow Lantern Amon Sur is murdered, and the Power Ring sought out Jonathan Crane for the first time. And I thought, okay, as I'm reading this, I'm like, this makes a ton of sense. Like, as he could really explore his fear and the fears of others if he had the yellow ring. Like, the yellow ring would give him that power.
He could conjure anything pretty much.
Absolutely.
How
Unfortunately,
does the ring find you? Does it like calling to you and you go find it and it's like in a box or something, or does it like just float to you?
it comes to you. It seeks you out.
Okay.
Yeah, it seeks you out.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, Batman stopped that from happening, and so that it didn't happen at that time. However, they revisited that in the Blackest Night series. So there were a number of rings created by Ganthet. That Ganthet is from Oa, the planet of the Green Lanterns. Like that's where they originated from. He created duplicates of the 7 different rings, and each ring had different powers to them. Like orange was greed and red was rage. And so the yellow ring sought out scarecrows, sought out Jonathan Crane, and he actually became the Yellow Lantern of Sector 2184 for a while. And
Sector 2184.
2184. That's yeah. So he actually became the Yellow Lantern.
So what did he do?
Oh, he was just bad. I mean, it was real.
So it was fun to read, probably.
It was awesome to read. Unfortunately, The yellow ring was stolen from him by Lex Luthor, who had the orange ring for greed, obviously, and so he wanted power.
I like all these.
Yeah, so thank Lex, he stole the ring and never got it back. So I thought, man, that's that's a match made in heaven for a supervillain, right there.
So if the yellow, you have to, I'm on this train now. If the yellow ring wants to be with Crane and Lex takes it, why doesn't it just try to get back to Crane?
Well, they probably tried to get back to him. Yeah, but I mean, the orange ring, the greed ring that Lex had, gave him the power to take that. I mean, that was all. It was just rooted in greed.
Okay.
And so
whoever possesses the orange ring, in theory, should possess all the rings.
He tried to get all the rings. Yeah.
One to power them all, or something like that.
The rage ring, the red ring was probably one of my favorites. That was one of the more violent Green Lantern series that I ever read.
Who had that one?
There was a number of side villains that had the red. Yeah.
I feel like I had it this morning in the car on the way here. On the interstate. I don't drive very much anymore, so I felt it.
So that's my tangent on the Scarecrow from Batman.
That sounds pretty good. Here's my Batman Scarecrow. My kid has a toddler book of Batman, and the Scarecrow shows up to their Halloween party, and he's got a pumpkin bomb. And in this pumpkin bomb, he's got his most recent concoction, and it makes the people think they are what they are dressed up as.
Oh.
And so there's a people like, a witch and a Frankenstein and a mummy, and they're all after the Super Friends are there.
Sure,
It's a party for them. So they all have to, fight off the citizens that are dressed up in costumes, and they're like, we can't hurt these people. They don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And the way they get rid of him is Batman says, aha, I know what will scare the Scarecrow. Let's dump some popcorn on him, and these two guys that are dressed up like crows will come and chase after him and try to eat the popcorn. And Scarecrow runs off and saves the day. So that's the version of Scarecrow.
That is such a...
I know.
Oh, my gosh.
That's amazing.
How simplistic and fun, though. I mean,
that's pretty good.
So as soon as he runs away, then the spell is broken?
It takes a while. It takes like another hour, but then they have a party.
The gas wears off.
And then they have a Halloween party and they're bobbing for apples.
Yeah, we see Batman was just a detective. He has no superpowers. He's just rich and smart.
Well, it's weird that you bring up the pumpkin bomb, because the Scarecrow on the can of this beer is holding a pumpkin bomb.
And it's lit.
Yeah.
There's a spark on there.
Yeah.
I never noticed that before, but you're right. TripAdvisor. 4.5 out of 5 on 217 reviews. It is the number one thing to do. The pizza and beer place in Kearney. Number one thing to do in Kearney. Excellent and very good dominate the reviews. There are only 3 terribles.
Okay.
And I love the terribles.
Yes. Yep.
All right, so Kyle614 only has 1 review on TripAdvisor. This one right here.
Was it on 614 that he went?
I don't know. Maybe they just assigned him that number and he just decided not to change it. And it goes back to the pizza.
Okay.
Right? The pizza that everybody loves.
Yeah.
Excellent and good reviews, right? He says it's boring limp crust pizza. Limp crust pizza.
That's about the most outrageous insult you can give a pizza, I think.
Yeah.
I cannot believe the number of reviews on this site that are all saying this pizza is good. 3 exclamation points. My wife and I were on our way back from Colorado and staying at a hotel in town. After reading all the great reviews online about pizza, we were excited to try it out. We ordered a large Supreme to go. It was a 12-inch pizza for $26. That's right, $26. Well, okay. Artisan pizza, right? $12.
It's scratch pizza. Like they probably do everything in house, crust, everything. Like it's a specialized pizza. They probably make the crust with their beer, maybe. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, I think they do.
Right?
Yeah.
The crust was very thin and floppy and almost doughy, uncooked-like in texture. The toppings were run-of-the-mill canned ingredients, very plain and boring. We were upset that we had to eat this crap. But after paying $26, we choked a couple of pieces down and threw the rest away. We know good pizza, and this is not even close. I would actually recommend any crappy pizza chain over this, which is pretty sad. Pizza Hut, Domino's, Godfather's, Casey's, Papa John's are all a step above this, and I consider all those places crap too. This guy sounds awesome. I'd love to hang out with him
This
at a
guy
party.
just hates pizza.
He does.
How many places did he just name in one sentence and said all of it's crap?
These are all crap.
Yeah.
He should stop eating pizza.
Yeah,
think so.
dude, you should just. But he knows good pizza.
Pizza is
He
not.
didn't list that. He didn't list any of
he
those
didn't list
places.
any good pizza.
No, because he doesn't know what good pizza is.
No.
What's the worst pizza you've had?
There is no worst pizza.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
What's one pizza you wouldn't eat again?
No. I had a Southside pizza one time in Chicago that just wasn't desirable. It was supposed to be like cracker crust kind of flatbread pizza like that. It wasn't that great.
I don't know if I've ever had anything that I went like, oh, I'm never eating this again. Even like the pizza and the rectangles that you got at school lunch was good, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Have you had bad pizza?
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you see
That's
they sell that frozen now, by the way?
Chuck E. Cheese
Yeah,
pizza?
yeah, you can get it frozen
Wow.
in the store. I haven't seen it locally, but I've seen TikToks on it,
I
though.
mean, I would.
Dude, even
it's like it's made on a
Totino's, like-
paper towel.
Yeah.
You want to talk about limp crust? It's like you hold the crust with your finger, and the rest of the pizza touches the bottom of your hand.
Yeah.
But then you can fold it up and smash it in your mouth. I don't know, but that's not one I'm looking for.
Look,
Yeah.
pizza made by a dirty rat, I guess.
Okay,
But I'd still eat it.
Yeah.
It's pizza.
Going back to that review, though, he goes, I can't believe there's this many good reviews about it. I
Right.
know good pizza. I'm like,
Yeah. Do
if there's
ya?
that
Do
many
ya?
good reviews, then you don't know good pizza.
No.
Obviously.
No.
And you said he had one review,
This is
so
it.
he's not reviewing good
So he
pizza.
made a.
No.
He's. Yeah, I don't
Again.
like this.
He went through
person.
the hassle to make an account to.
Sorry, Kyle. 614 or whatever
Yeah.
you were.
Didn't say where he's from, but he was coming back from Colorado, so I'm gonna guess he lives in Missouri.
I don't know. He knew some of the. He knew Godfathers.
Yeah.
And Casey's. He probably is from Iowa.
Yeah, he's probably from Iowa. That's true. Probably. Untapped. 773 check-ins on this one. That's it. A small number. But
It is.
I guess here's the thing. You don't just fall ass backwards into a pumpkin beer. You were deliberate. You seek it out.
Well, we sought this one out. I guess is the
Absolutely.
way I would put
Yeah, we
that.
did.
So
Yep.
that makes sense to me. And my friend Daryl down in Lincoln, I sent him a picture of this the other day. We were doing these episodes, and he was like, they haven't had it in Lincoln. Can you get me some?
Oh.
And I said, sure.
I believe I
Yeah.
can. Yeah.
So
Well-
people are looking for it.
As we said in the beginning, we did record this episode already.
Yeah.
The SD card kind of ate it. It didn't exist. So we're re-recording this.
Yeah.
So we all kind of have an idea of what the
We do.
Untapped rating is.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say what I rated it
Go
the
for
first
it.
time we
Yeah,
recorded
do
this,
that.
right?
Yep.
I said 362.
Yep.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Dolan's pretty darn close. 364. It's
Oh,
right
yeah.
on.
364.
That's pretty good.
This is one of the better pumpkin beers that I've had. Of the beers that we've done, though, this I think is the nicest one out of all of them. It's just I use this term very loosely. Sometimes pumpkin beers can be offensive.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, they could just punch you in the mouth.
Like I
with-
said, it could be more pumpkin pie, like
Right.
artificial, than actual.
Now, here's the thing. If you call your beer pumpkin pie, that's
then
fine.
perfect.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. No, this is not offensive at all. This thing is fantastic. I'd like to have this on tap, quite honestly, and see how it is.
Yeah.
So,
Big old picture of it.
A pumpkin pie stout now. I want one.
yeah. Well, speaking of stouts,
We're getting into stout season.
We
my man.
are. We have. Ironically, we've never. This is one of the top breweries in the world. That's not too far from us, like 6 hours away from us, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna
Kind of in the middle of nowhere.
It definitely.
You
in the
have to
middle
go
of
there on
nowhere.
purpose.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're going to do one of their stouts here coming up over the next couple of weeks. We have our crossover with Healthcare Horrors,
Yep.
our other podcast.
Oh, spooky
Oh my
season.
gosh, it's going to be
Yeah.
awesome. I believe we have a pumpkin beer for that too.
We do.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
It'll be our third and final pumpkin beer
There
episode.
we go.
Yeah.
And then, then we have one last lager, and then we're going to do more stouts here going up until Christmas.
Oh, do we have? Yes, we have to. Okay.
Kind of have
Good.
to. Yeah. So until then, we're not going anywhere for a while.
Let's have another beer.
Thank you for listening to A Beer with Atlas. Special thanks to our brand team for producing the show. Each episode of A Beer with Atlas is powered by Atlas MedStaff, an industry leader in travel healthcare staffing.